Good evening. A year ago today, Russian troops invaded Ukraine from the north, the east and the south. That full-scale assault was a declaration of all-out war, a war started by President Vladimir Putin under the guise of a special military operation. Since then, the battle for Ukraine has cost tens of thousands of lives, forced millions of people to flee their homes and reduced entire cities to rubble. From the early days of fighting, Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky has emerged as a defiant leader. They say cometh the hour, cometh the man. And the former comedian and actor has stood resolutely against Putin, declaring his country will win the war. Well, today, as Ukraine and the world marks the first anniversary of the conflict, wider efforts to secure Ukraine's future and stop the war dragging on still continue. Simon Vigar reports.
Battered but unbowed, Ukraine today marked the first anniversary of the invasion. President Zelensky paid tribute to those who've defended Ukraine. He ended by saying, "Glory to our heroes, glory to Ukraine."
Слава нашим героям. Слава Україні.
This was 1 year ago, the beginning of the worst conflict on European soil since the Second World War. Vladimir Putin thought it would be a walkover. He was wrong. Millions of people have evacuated, but many have stayed, including the families of these war babies, Roman and Yeva, who were born on day one of the war. Alina says, after childbirth you need to recover, to lie down, but in 3 hours we were running with our baby. Anastasia says no one will ever forget when his birthday is, the 24th of February. I was learning to be a mother, but it was actually much easier than accepting the reality of war. One place where you won't find any mention of the anniversary is Russian state TV. It has ignored the milestone of what Moscow insists on calling a special military operation. Meanwhile, on the front line, Russia's spring offensive is far from decisive. This Ukrainian soldier says motivation is very good. The enemy will definitely fall because of us. The president, who today presented medals to wounded soldiers, knows that fierce fighting has prevented the Russians from making big gains.
It's important to note the front, if you like, is around 2,000 kilometers long. So there's lots of pockets of fighting that still remain in territory that is being fought over in some cases by house to house.
While the mood among civilians is also defiant.
Nobody knows what will happen. The longer the war drags on, it's also quite exhausting for people. But it all depends on the ability of the armed forces of Ukraine to hold the line.
Some things will never be forgiven nor forgotten. One of the worst Russian atrocities happened here in Bucha. Today is simply the first of many painful anniversaries. Simon Vigar, 5 News.